good morning and welcome to Cityline. It is so great to be in your home. Today is the 9th of February. I was just talking to my guests about how this month is picking up steam. And we have a great show ahead of us. Later on, we'll be talking with Associated Ministries, talking about the child tax credit. There's a lot to know about that and a lot to be received and gained by you taking advantage of it. So that will be in our final segment. Sound Outreach. Alejandra will be here to talk about some of their programs that they also have. And my next guest after Alejandra is someone I've been waiting to have on, Tupac. Tupac will be here. They are Tacoma Urban Performing Arts Center to talk about their latest programs and how you can take advantage of those. And then with me right now is truly the dynamic duo. If you saw on the wide shot, we were chatting away. I want to introduce you to Katie Buckingham, who is the curator of the Museum of Glass. Welcome back, Katie.
Thanks. Nice to see you, Amanda.
And Kelsey Eisel, who is the curator of She Bends. And that's what we're here to talk about, is She Bends, Redefining Neon Legacy Opens at the Museum of Glass. And I got to tell you, neon for me is like, woo, shiny. I am all over it. So I'm so glad you're here to enlighten us further about the beauty of neon. So first off, Kelsey, let's start with, Katie, let's start with you. This new exhibition at the Museum of Glass, how would you describe it?
I would describe it as an eye-opening thrill. Even in all my time at Museum of Glass, confess to being a total neon
Which has been
artist.
a long time.
Somehow, all of a sudden. But I've really enjoyed over the last year working with Kelsey and her collaborator, Meryl, getting the opportunity to go from neon sign on the side of the road to this really rich, technically challenging art form, and to see all the ways that it can be used in the gallery is going to be a real treat. It's so exciting.
I love that. I love neon, as I said, and my biggest craving is to have neon that I can be up close to. I love the Tacoma self-storage sign. I love the pink elephant sign. Yeah. But those are things I see when I drive by. I want to be able to get up and maybe not touch, but to even feel and hear the buzz in my ear of neon. Yeah. So Kelsey, tell us about the reorganization of She Bends and what was the idea behind redefining a neon legacy? Because it's a big legacy.
It is a big legacy. She Bends is dedicated to the evolution of neon as a process-driven fine art form, and we center stage underrepresented artists, benders, and we do that through curatorial projects and public education and artist programs like residencies and special projects. And redefining Neon Legacy is really about celebrating the teachers and how the teaching methodologies have changed over the past 2 decades and how that's affecting the concepts that are being shown in neon today.
So I'm kind of curating here, to use a word, that bending is a neon term.
Yes.
And does it mean that you actually bend the tube? Is that what that means?
It is, yeah. She Bends really speaks to the process of neon. So we concentrate on artist benders, so artists who are making the work themselves.
I love that.
And yeah, it's we use specialty fires, and neon is made with hollow glass tubes, and they're heated up in specific areas and bent, bend by bend.
Yes.
To make any shape you see. And it's still made by hand 112 years after it was first invented.
And here we are.
Yes.
Oh, look at this. So, I mean, because, you know, Museum of Glass, we learn so much from Museum of Glass when we are talking about exhibitions. Here's the bend, is that correct?
Yes, and that is my partner and the founder of She Bends, Meryl Pataky.
Oh, okay, so my goodness. Tell us what we're looking at here.
That's a crossfire, so she's welding an electrode onto that's a mercury trap. Neon is not just neon. Neon is the namesake of the medium, but basically all noble gases can be made. So neon mercury traps are used in collaboration with argon.
Wow, impressive.
Yeah, it's such an amazing.
I love it, and just like, you know, like when you are making like our beautiful glass here, which is hilltop artists, but many of those hilltop artists, when they grow up, they come to the Museum of Glass. Yeah. We call that blowing glass, but now we're talking about bending glass.
Yes, and some old school artists still call it glass blowing because you have a blow hose in your mouth. You need to puff in so that the glass doesn't collapse when you're making turns. And some artists still blow instead of have a blow hose. So we interchange the terms.
I love that. So speaking of that, Katie, how would you describe the intersection of studio glass, like what I have here on the table, and the neon art form? Because for me, growing up, they were always very separate.
Right.
And that's the first time I've seen how neon was made. I thought, oh my God, they blow into it. I didn't know that. So where's the intersection, Katie?
You're looking at it.
Okay.
And where I'm excited is, a lot of what we talk about at the museum is how glass blowing, which makes vases and other things that you have in your home, is actually this incredibly technical form of art making that can say all sorts of things. She Bends, Kelsey and Meryl are saying the same thing, just with yet another iteration of glass that is really familiar and something that we all have in our everyday lives, but can do really unexpected, wonderful, complicated things.
Just like women.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
As I'm thinking about the major themes of redefining the neon legacy, Kelsey, I think, is it a commentary on the human spirit, or is it, because it's called She Bends, is it about feminism? So answer the question. What is it, or is it all of it?
Yeah, it's all of it. I think when most people think of neon art, they think of the pop art movement and artists like Bruce Nauman and later Tracy Emin and Patrick Martinez, who were largely making art in response to the commercial and advertising history of neon, and very important art and art that was fabricated by commercial shops. And we're able to now stand on their shoulders and concentrate on artists who are making the work themselves, and women artist teachers who are then passing off the trade in a very intentional way to a younger and more diverse artist base. And when we see those artists make work, they're able to tackle these concepts like cultural identity and healing and memory and spirituality, which is so much part of the process of making neon itself.
Okay, so when I watch glass being made, and I always think I want to try that, I stop when they pull it out of the glory hole and it crashes. And then my admiration for artists that work with anything that has to be blown is through the roof, because when you said spiritually teaches us stuff, I don't know if I could recover from the glass on the ground, yet they do. They go, oh, you see the pain, and then they get over it. And if that's not a life lesson, I don't know what is.
Yeah, we believe very strongly in manual competency as a means to creative problem solving and critical thinking, and failure and being in a very peaceful and loose space when you're making neon is a big part of that process, and that comes out in the work.
Glass has been historically, women have worked with the art form. If I were to give you just my armchair opinion, I would tell you, based upon what I watch on TV, it's still very male-dominated. What is changing in that area, Kelsey?
Yeah, it has been a very male-dominated and commercial trade, and we stand on the shoulders of artists like Krissa and Tracy Emin. But now that we're seeing women artists who are making the work themselves, they're creating teaching methodologies that are much more expansive and thoughtful, and passing off the trade in an artistic way and in a much more intentional way. And we're seeing that the neon trade evolve, the neon art form evolve because of that.
I love that. So it's collaboration, not competition.
Yes.
Outstanding. Katie, when you think about some of the activations and events and the beautiful offerings of the Museum of Glass will have throughout the installation of the show, what comes to mind?
Oh, I'm really excited for our opening celebrations this weekend. First of all, it's really, for us, the first time we've been full steam opening a big show, but we have artist demos, thanks to Kelsey and Meryl and the team, all weekend exhibition tours, a panel
You're going to be bending this weekend?
Yes.
Almost all of our artists are going to be bending this weekend.
Okay.
It's a great time to come and check it out.
Yeah.
And we're hoping to have those demos rolling throughout the summer and the fall as the exhibition goes forward. So for us, it's all about giving Kelsey and the artists the opportunity to share their work and for visitors to come in and check it out. Yeah, it's going to be really fun.
And we get to collaborate with the hot shop. So
Yeah.
we get to see the intersection of hot glass and neon in real time.
There it is. So that's the answer of how it's changed.
Yeah.
It's no longer on its own racetrack. It's now, hey, we're in a 2-lane highway together. Let's share.
Yeah, well, this is the first major neon exhibition at the Museum of Glass, and we're so grateful to be invited into the conversation with a form of glass that's so much farther along in its evolution to fine art form. So we're so happy to be in Tacoma.
Tacoma's very happy to have you. Katie, in these last few minutes, what is coming up outside of this show? Please tell me she's offering classes.
Oh my gosh, well that's a good question.
Wouldn't that, I would get
neon?
up early to take a class from you.
Why don't you take that one first?
Email Shebens, we'll put you in touch with teachers in your area. Absolutely.
And for the rest of the museum, we're really pleased to have our hands-on workshops back. So the last weekend of every month, you can come work in the hot shop and experience glass blowing yourself. In March, we have 2 artists coming to work in the hot shop from Netflix series Blown Away.
Of course.
It'll be really exciting. And
Can you tell us who they are? Can you
yes,
spill the tea?
Deb Churesco.
Yes, I love her bangs.
Yeah. Season 1 winner, Deb Churesco will be here. And then immediately after her, resident evaluator, Catherine Gray, will be in the hot shop.
Catherine Gray, when she walks, I think the temperature goes down. Yeah. She is just this beautiful, elegant woman.
Yes.
How exciting.
And then at the end of April, we're really excited to be opening an exhibition called Illuminate Glass Art for Early Learners, which we're partnering with the Children's Museum in Green Trike to build an art exhibition for 3 to 6-year-olds.
Oh my gosh, now that's something I didn't expect to hear.
Yeah.
Glass with 3 to 6-year-olds.
It's
kind of an oxymoron.
You bet.
If anybody can rewrite the history of that, it's the Museum of Glass.
Come and check it out.
Absolutely. I want to say thank you to both of you and to you individually, because you're continuing to carry this beautiful torch of reinventing glass at the museum and making it so accessible. And you, Miss Kelsey, you show up like a little ray of sunshine here with all the history and all the motivation that makes us all think that we could learn how to bend glass.
You absolutely can.
Which I hope that's coming up in the near future, because the Museum of Glass is known for its open heart and open doors. So thank you both for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. When we come back after a quick break, we'll have Tupac in the house. You don't want to miss that. We'll be right back.